still early in the morning on the West Coast. Oh, yeah. Very early for some of us, considering we don't get much sleep. It's hilarious. It's hilarious at times how little sleep we can get and then still keep moving. But welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I just wanted to come on and comment about the updated video. Yeah, there was a lot of keys jangling. My keys were jangling in the background. And turns out that might help scramble the audio because there's so many cameras outside and everywhere. And now they must have added even more, because when you have a private conversation inside your own unit, they will come back and tell you, or they will write something or text something, and they'll use what you said in their text in a veiled threat. That's what I was trying to say on the last slide. That a veiled threat is still a threat, especially when it sounds like organized crime. I'm hoping that people understand that they live in a world full of people, not just themselves. Everybody has their rights, and that their rights stop right here at the end of their nose. And just to keep upsetting your neighbors, that won't last long. It's nothing new, but after you've lived in peace for so long, you're not interested. You're not interested in a bunch of commotion all the time. But it's over the top. Yeah, it is over the top. And I just need to update some people. And there's certain things that have to be said that it can't be point blank on this platform, but it's a pity once one neighbor turns on the next, then it has that spillover effect. And before you know it, you have people taking sides, and you have communities in an uproar. And it's easy to just point the finger at one person. But if it keeps going and building and building and building and building until it gets out of control, you're never going to be able to get to the bottom of it or where it all began. But it's still, I guess it's more appealing to some people to protect their bottom line over respecting the rights and the laws to live and you're dwelling in peace and harmony and live free of any kind of harassment. Welcome in, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. It's still morning on the West Coast. Oh, well, it might not be morning anymore, but it's still early on the West Coast. And I'm back on because I made a live last night and you could hear my keys jingling in the background. And hopefully that will scramble all these cameras. Maybe that will scramble the audio on all these cameras. But there should be a line that people are willing to not cross. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So happy to see you all. I'm just recapping the late night video. Welcome in, so happy to see everybody. I'm trying to recap the video. Good morning, Shivani, Melton, 8041, and everybody. Oh, good morning. Hello, Alexa, Alexis. Hello, grandbabies. Yes, I'm your granny. Alexis says, where are you, Spain? No, in Los Angeles County. Yeah, really outside of the big Los Angeles city and then on the west side of LA. Yeah, where it's just elbow to elbow people. It's so crowded. Even a baby could crawl on these freeways and and be home faster than in the car. And King underscore Sama, are you married? I didn't find anybody worth duplicating Sama. I didn't find anybody worth duplicating. Maybe I should have never come to Los Angeles County because I would have been married if I, you know. As a matter of fact, King Sama, when I came to Los Angeles and I left a smaller state, then all these, oh, Vegas, the Sin City, we need more grannies. Well, I'll tell you, Alexa, you're absolutely right. Vegas is so much fun. It's so doggone hot. You can't even walk on the sidewalk. Sometimes you have to stay inside. Oh, oh, listen, King says, ha ha ha. You found someone now. Oh, yes, I found a grandson, King. I'm beyond, I know I'm beyond your age range. I wouldn't fit on your spectrum. No, no, King. I'm flattered, but I'm so far beyond your eligibility. Oh my goodness. You made my day. Yeah, I was trying to recap for certain. Good morning. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for coming in. They're coming in. 21 years old, but it's okay. King, I'm more than 3 times your age. I wouldn't, I wouldn't maybe be able to keep up with you because I stay fit, but you know I might get out of wind before you even get started. So, but thanks for giving me something to laugh about, King. Oh my goodness. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for all the likes. Make me laugh. If you have something funny, I want to hear it. I just need to laugh today. Oh, yes. Ha ha, fine. I have a nice job, good salary. Well, you should. You know, it shouldn't be an exception. Why they could never pay you for what you're worth, and they're trying not to pay you for what you do. So you really should have even a better salary. But everybody doesn't think like that. That's what keeps me, you know, to myself because people want to follow who's ever out there barking the loudest. Thank you, Leonard Copeland. Thank you. You have a blessed day. Keep the faith. Absolutely. That's really all I have. you know, in LA County, they take everything else from you, even if they have to steal it. You look around for your supplies for cleaning and for hygiene or whatever, and you had a nice little supply, and next thing you know, it's not there. So now I've learned, hey, instead of using the same shelf, yes, my sister, you understand, Lenore. So now instead of using the same shelf for the same products, I switch it up. And I'm going to go old school and get those old shoe foot lockers or something. You can put a padlock on them. Well, when I was your age, much younger, I used to see older people do that. I said, oh, okay, that's because they're getting older and senile, or they're getting old and they don't trust anybody. But I'll tell you all, I'll tell you the truth. I know I'm not senile, and I know my memory is getting better and better and better and better, and I'm taking such good care of myself. The best doctors, or I wouldn't even stay. I wouldn't stay in LA County another minute, but I have such great doctors. Well, King says, well, I finished study and I work in same bleepity bleep 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 that I studied. Well, yeah, yeah. The thing is, you'll be retired before you know it. So, word to the wise, take it all in stride. You know what? I couldn't really understand why people would pay all that money for beats. Those Beats by Dre and all those different things, and why they would want to just noise cancellation. I understand now. I understand. There's a war. It's almost a war between some of these neighbors. They cannot get along. They can't get along. And they go around the clock trying to disturb each other. It goes all around the clock. It, some of us have been here for decades. And when we complain to the off-site illegal manager, when we complain, then we're threatened. I got a threat in writing. In essence, they were telling me to shut up. They were telling me to shut up in writing. That will never stand. That will never stand. I had already called every local agency, and I had even went as far as Sacramento, the capital. I contacted one of my representatives. Yes, Leonard, we try the best we can in my 60s. Stay beautiful, sister. Thank you, Leonard. Same to you. Stay beautiful inside and outside. As a matter of fact, I met with some people. I had never known them, but we were probably all retired and just out for relaxation. We had the best time. They were telling me about things going on in LA. I'm not really interested anymore because I worked all over Los Angeles, but I'm not really interested. But it's just amazing that people can go on for thousands of years off of one little grudge that didn't have to happen, or it didn't have to continue. And this is why right now it's a hot spot right now. So I'm being told to shut up. I'm being told to shut up because I reported so many. Let me turn my volume up because our voices carry in these different types of rooms. They have the ability to boost your sound. Oh, King says, come on, you can live with me and I'll give you whatever you like. And you don't have to do anything, but you have to be funny and make me happy and makes me happy. Thank you for making me laugh. We do have to find ways to inspire ourselves and each other. Like I was telling you, these people were probably all retirees. And they were telling me about this young Nolan, I think in New Orleans or somewhere. Maybe not New Orleans, maybe not that state, but somewhere. There's a young guy, Nolan Wells or something like that. Really, he looks like a or he's gone, but he looks so healthy and happy and nice. I couldn't watch it after I found out he died at the hands of somebody else. And these retirees were telling me in Los Angeles this week that he was young even while he was still doing his undergrad work or graduate work in college. He was playing for the Chicago Bears. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, they, the retiree was telling me that she thought it was all motivated by jealousy or greed or something. But what's to stop them from doing what he did and having what he has? Some people don't understand how hard others work to get the little crumbs, to get the little crumbs that they have. And there's nothing to be jealous about because we can all work extra. Even for me, it's so many neighbor feuds. I want to find 2 or 3 jobs and never come here except when I have to only. And you saying that's like a slow death. Who needs that stress? Absolutely. And where are you from? BDW, by the way. Um, you know, I can't give my location. I'm receiving threats and everything, Leonard and King. I'm receiving threats. Yes, I am, simply because I'm paying for peaceful habitation, not for a war zone. If I wanted that, I know where that is. That's what these retirees were trying to tell me. We were having our chat and our healthy snacks and healthy. Some of them had healthy meals, and they were all in condition. All of us. One man, he was so slim it wasn't funny. I knew when he stood up, I was praying, don't let his clothes fall on the ground. Yes, Nolan Wells. That's a fishy situation with a lot of unanswered questions. Yes, Lenore, I tried to not involve myself in it, but then when I heard all the opportunities that he had and how people may have taken him out because of jealousy, this has got to stop. I think that's what people are warring right now, neighbor against neighbor. They imagine that the man downstairs or the man upstairs has something that they don't have. and that it was given to them. They didn't earn it. All these crazy things don't even fit the truth whatsoever. Oh, you said, sorry, where did you say? Right now I'm living in Los Angeles County, but I wasn't born here. But I had family here. So years ago after high school and work experience, then just the way um, my grandmother and I had planned before I even started high school, we had planned that when I finished, sometime after that I would come to live with her. And we didn't advertise it, but we put the plan in motion. And yeah, I came to live with her. And she was a blend of, say, she was born in New Orleans, so you know. Don't cross her. Don't cross her. No, no, no. She was a very slim, petite thing, but it didn't hold her back. It just gave her more power. So, you know, like you hear people say, don't bother quiet people. Well, don't bother people either just because they're slim and even elderly. Don't bother the elderly. Mm-mm. You just, you, you just stay calm. That's advice. Stay calm. Whoa. But yeah, I got, like I said, was a veiled threat. I got what was basically a veiled threat to tell me to shut my mouth. Because, you know, it's so much of chaos that I'm not paying for that. I am not. I'm going to reparations. Reparations are long overdue. Will you like to come live with me in Morocco? Well, you know, what did they say? You made me an offer I can't refuse. Morocco. Ooh. You better think, because that might be an offer I can't refuse. You better think about that. Wow. Wow. Just the history and the beauty of that country. Oh. Such a beautiful place. But, yeah. A nice, thrilled, mafioso type of threat. In writing. Basically tell me to shut up and let these wild animals have it. Let them take it and run with it. Maybe if, you know, I get another 20, 30 years, 40 years refund on everything that I paid here. If they want to refund me for the last 39 or 40 years, and then they want to give me, pay my cost to live here for another 20, 40 years, maybe I will live in a war zone. Who's to say? You never know. Or I could just, you know, visit them once in a while and report them. Visit and report them to the authorities. It's so crazy. You know, I think maybe people in Los Angeles County have to work so doggone hard. And that includes me. I'm retired, but I still need to work. I do, because they're going for the juggler all the time, inventing new things. You know, they got all these expensive new things they're putting up every day so they can hear every word we say. Privacy. Gone. They want to hear every word you say inside. You know, rather than to knock on people's door and say, we have noise ordinances here, and for each violation, the city will charge you $1,000, bottom, $1,000, and it goes up from there. Yeah, but I've been here for decades and never really had any problems. But if I do, I don't I don't shy away. I'll leave a polite note and say, you know, put it on mute if you don't mind, or it's very expensive once they start bringing you tickets and taking you to jail and all that for something as little as toning the volume down. But instead, they're so irate and on this mission to fight with their neighbors that if you say anything to try to calm the situation down, you're the problem. Hell to the no, no, no. Okay, you'll have a good time talking, dancing, walking, enjoying each other's company. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos of Morocco and Algeria and Casablanca and all over there. I think your state, Algeria, is not too far from Libya. I'll tell you, I can hardly talk about Libya without crying because I didn't know the president that was assassinated, but I did read about how he did so many good things in Los Angeles. He contributed unlimited millions to the underdeveloped communities, and he just, for his country, he just rolled out the red carpet. And for him to go down like he did, well, that's political speech, but I guess I'm doing quite a bit of family research, and there's a lot of palace intrigue, a lot of either state-sponsored or religious organization-sponsored hidden hands, and before you know it, somebody is erased off the planet. And a lot of them were all of our ancestors. If you check, I keep telling you every time, if you check on familysearch.org, once you put in your name and you put in the rest of your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, or whoever you know, then their databases links up the bloodline, sometimes beyond the year 400. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was showing my eye doctor this week. I was showing him a page of a rabbinical dynasty. All of them are my great-grandfathers. I'm ready to swing from the chandelier. I am. Because, I can appreciate people that have to work and work and work and work and never stop. And it's never enough. You become the one that has to do that level. And if you don't, people will never forgive you if you slow up and, try to fit in and do the minimum for the maximum, like 80%. The 80-20 rule. 80% show up for the paycheck. 20% are there to do the work. And then we're harassed and harangued. The kingdom come. And then when it's promotion time, we're ready to take our promotion You know, people are turning into toddlers. Why do you have to go angry at you? Why do you have to go? You just gonna, why do you have to go all the way to California? You're just gonna come back. I was too young then to say it, but I would say it now. Why do you have to pay slave wages? And you're living high on the hog and the best homes and driving the best cars and providing the best life for you and your family. Why do I have to work as hard or harder than you for slave wages so that you can live on the top of the mountain and I can barely afford the valley? Yeah, and it hasn't changed. I doubt if it will in my lifetime. But thank you for the likes. Thank you for everybody that popped in and popped out or that watches the replay. It's just like a breath of fresh air. To tell you the truth, it's a breath of fresh air. Just, I mean, Los Angeles County is one of the most fun places you'll ever be in. In the sun, you can leave feeling, you know, I don't know. You could feel like, what happened to my sinuses? Or why am I so dry? Why is my throat so dry? You can focus on the wrong thing. Is what I'm trying to say. You can get outside and see everything green and feel the sun. And my mind says, who needs to fight when you can walk on beautiful beaches at night, and not even pay to park there? But instead, some people prefer to be indoors from sun up to sundown, fighting with a neighbor. Yes, Lenard, just be you. If people want something big, they are the ones who are lost. Love yourself. Oh, underscore in caps, Lenard. Absolutely. We can't force people to live in peace. And the more you talk about it, the angrier they get. It's their right to tear the mother down. We're going to blank, blank, fill in the blank the mother down. I guess people are stuck. They call that trauma bonding. They're stuck to trauma and they're lashing out at everybody because everything is triggering them. Even if it gets quiet and peaceful, that's upsetting for some people, And you know what? I will tell the authorities in a minute. We're in an unsafe, hostile environment. It's not safe for seniors like me. It's not safe for children. I want an investigation right now. I do. And then I'll get accused. By the off-site illegal manager. I'll get accused of saying things I never said. Said, meet with me at your earliest convenience and show me your evidence. Because you are besmirching and slandering me and threatening me. Mafioso style. Those are drama queens and kings. Yes, sir, Leonard. Yes, sir. And they have nothing, no comeback once you say, meet me face to face and show me your proof. What I did, or you take your slander and you know where you can shove it. You can shove it as high and as far as you like it, because you'll never be able to prove that. You'll never be able to prove it. I think it's upsetting for some people when they can't control you and they can't control every word that comes out of your mouth. They want you to shut up and turn every penny you have over to them, or they're coming for you. Yeah, they're going to come for you with all their cameras and audio feeds. And you know what? I lived in a fishbowl from day one. My sisters will tell you that. My nieces and nephews will tell you that we lived in a fishbowl all our lives. Not intimidated by anybody. They make a mistake of trying to bully my younger sisters, even though they're not as tall as I am. They're barely 5 feet or a little after 5'2" or something like that. They won't hold back. They won't let anybody bully them. And I won't either. Because I've always, even in my uh, young pre-teenagers, I was always a helicopter mom. I wouldn't let anybody abuse my little sisters. You know? And even though they're grandmothers now, I won't let anybody abuse them. You know? So you ask if I have a husband or kids or anything, not say biological, but all of you. You call me grandma, great grandma, whatever, because if I find out anybody is trying to hurt you, I'm not going to stand by. I don't care who it is. I'm not going to stand by. People don't like it. They get so upset. They want you just to look the other way. You read about that in those psychology books about these big cities, New York, and all of the big cities, how you read about it in the psychology books, sociology books. Mm-hmm. So true. Been there, done that. Yes, Lenore. It's so many unnecessary homicides or straight out M words because of nothing. Some people will fight, say like on Thanksgiving, people will fight over the dark meat or the light meat of the turkey. Yes, Lenore, I'll call you a blessed young lady. I am. I mean, there, oh, there's no end to it. Yeah, people will fight over the dark or light meat of a turkey, and they lose their life over that. When, you know, I'm not one to tell anybody not to eat a lot of bacteria. Uh, you can keep your bacteria. I think a few days ago I read that the most, the question was, what part of the, and I won't say which one, but it's because it might cause a big backlash from that industry, but said which part of this particular bird that is so famous, there's chains and chains of food stores that sell this particular bird, and if I can get to appropriate places and they prepare it, I'll eat it. But the question was, which particular part of this bird that starts with a C and ends with an N, which part has the most uh, bacteria and that could take you down very quickly. And it didn't even cross my mind to second guess my mind. You don't do that much after you get so old. You don't really second guess a lot of things. But automatically I just said, not necessarily the gizzard, but there's this sack that you can flat back, throw back on certain birds, and it feels like a pocket and it's full of bacteria. They were saying in this health article how it can wipe you off the face of the map in no time. And it gave the warning how to either prevent it or how to get help when you need, because you can breeze along for decades. What do you say? Oh, as long as it's not mine, I'm fine. Yeah. That's what it comes down to, Leonard. It really does. As long as I can live in peace, I don't even want to know what the neighbor is doing. No, hello, how are you? Nice to see you. Best regards. Take care of yourself. Bye. Toodaloo. That's what my godchild likes to say. Toodaloo. She's so mature for a young person in their 20s. She's so mature. But she's a counselor for what you may call uh, mental hygiene. You know, she's a counselor. And she's a good one because she can listen. Ooh, from day one, she's been grown since she was 3 years old. It's true. She's been grown since she was 3 years old, and she would spank everybody else. But she tell you if you call 911, emergency police, if you call them on, or if you spank her, she's gonna call 911 on you. But she could spank you from 3 years old and put her little finger in your face and tell you, why are you doing that to my grandma? Why are you doing that to my auntie? If her auntie and grandma gets in an argument, she's going to jump in the middle. Stop it. And now she's a professional mental health care provider. And she's a good one because she has been listening and listening and listening from 3 years old. And she picks up things like a sponge. And she's right on point. She's right on point. I'm not saying she doesn't make mistakes. I'm just saying she listens so well that you can get an answer back from her that you're going to be able to quickly identify as, you know, this is something I can use. And I'm so much older than her, but I can talk to her, as a person that's maybe 2 or 3 times her age. It doesn't offend her or anything. She's not surprised or shocked. She studied it to the master's level, and so she's read a lot, and she's, like many people, have to continue in an internship, and then after you complete that difficult challenge, they want you to put in so many hours towards your license, and then you have to keep going, renewing a license. You require continuing education in so many hours. Even to get paid, you have to have X number of counseling hours just to earn your living. After going through all that education, internship, all of that, you still have to put in X number of hours just to get anything out of it. But I guess the good part is that at that level, you're gonna do okay. You're gonna do just fine, and eventually you'll be able to maybe set up your own office and have people under contract to provide services, or you'll be able to freelance and you'll be able to just, you may not even have to go to an office every day. You may be able to teach one day a week. I have a niece that finished her PhD long ago, but specialist in early childhood education. And she went through the fire so many times just to get her education. And these two ladies I'm telling you about, my niece and then my godchild, they have this certain forgiveness or flexibility in their personality that, they can be around just about anybody or anything, and they're not going to be too upset by it. They they listen so well that they're going to get all the information they can, and then they just keep building, building, building their knowledge base. But yeah, one niece, she drove for hours back and forth for years to teach classes in a university. And now she's really not that old. She's not old at all, but now she can slow down her pace, maybe teach once a week, and the rest of her time she can, according to how she likes it, she can work according to what she wants to do. Not, she doesn't have to go backwards. She can keep going forwards. So, but it takes so much work and sacrifice for that. Most people won't do it. They won't do it. But I'm jumping all over the place because I started out with sort of a summarizing the last live. And Leonard says they can adjust to the situation and grow from it. Yes, I mean, and get paid from it. It doesn't get any better than that. Get paid from it, rather than to fight your neighbors. Hello, how are you? What's new? I've been telling you about the seniors. They can adjust to the situation, grow. Amen. Yes, Leonard. I listened, and I know the men were tired of the women talking so much, but I was basically just listening to this one woman that knew everything that was going on in her area, in other areas in LA County and around the world. She was telling me about Nolan Wells. Yeah, she was telling me about that. It was too heartbreaking for me to just keep up with all these tragedies. Just, that was why I didn't want to see a tragedy right upstairs over me or next door to me. I didn't want to see that. That's why I called in, the appropriate resources. Called them in to say, hey, don't wait any longer. The time is now. And they are so overworked, underpaid, understaffed. They still do a great job. Absolutely. You do love to talk and listen, Lord. I understand. It just, why else are we living if we can't learn? We're really just, we're asking for, conflict if we're not trying to learn. And even people younger than me or not much older than me, learn so much from them. Oh. They'll tell me in a minute, you don't have enough information. Oh, or that's the solution to that problem is you're not listening. And if you listen, you're going to, I guess, cut off any potential for unnecessary bad feelings. like the lady in Los Angeles. She just needed to for people to hear her opinion on all the stuff that was going by. She had experienced that day or very recent a drive-by. I'm not sure if she actually was an eyewitness, but it really shook her. And she said she was, you know, she felt like people were just too evil, too evil. Rather than to try to debate with her, I just let her voice her opinion. She knew what she was talking about, and what she was saying was not a lie. It's just that she is like me. She's at a stage where, it's so much easier. Yeah, pass down knowledge from generation to generation. That's right, Lenore. It's just so much easier just to live in peace and let people go. And not look for something to make yourself upset. Yeah, yeah. From generation to generation. That's it. Even in your free time, you can research your ancestors that you didn't even know you had. Like I already said it a couple of times, I discovered a whole dynasty of uh, rabbis, rabbis, and I keep discovering, generations of ancestors that I didn't know I had from all over the globe. It's amazing. It's amazing. Why fight with somebody not even your age? Doesn't even have the life experience that you have. Why fight with them? Or why would they want to pick a fight with their neighbor, me, anybody? Because they obviously, yeah, who needs unnecessary stress? Right, Leonard. When you don't have to be, you know, a basket case just to say, I'm going to counseling just to get a second opinion as a prevention, because being exposed to too much chaos and stress and violence, just being exposed to it or hearing about it and reading about it, it's damaging. It's damaging. Just listening to, neighbors fight and create so much noise trying to get even with each other. You know, they're hurting themselves. They're not hurting each other. They're damaging their own health. But, they heard from me. They heard me say, you're harming my health. You're going to pay for every bit of it. You're going to pay for every bit of it. Oh, Leonard, exactly. Power. Power. That's what all the violence is about. The shooting that goes on for, you can't stop it. It's going to keep going. It's all about power and control, using fear to manipulate people. And you know. But when you talk to the certain people that are supposed to be powerful and, and can control certain things, when you talk to them grown up like this, like I talk to you all, just unfiltered, they get so nervous they have to threaten your life because now you're a threat to their overweening greed. I'll put it that way, because everybody has their greedy days, but some people they never end. There's no end or no limit to their greed, and no, you're supposed to pay them 2, 3, 4, 5,000, and they don't even want to obey the law for property, for uh, apartments or condos or motels with more than 16 units. The law here says you're required to have an on-site manager. They're creating all kind of little loopholes, saying, well, they own 2 properties on the block. They own the whole block, and they're making such high tax payments, and you can't create your own laws. We already have the laws. You're just here to obey them. And they didn't get the land, and they didn't get the permits to build and all that without planning commissions. And planning commissions, they make their laws based on what we say we want in our community. So, it's not about who built the shabbiest, who, who built the shabbiest property and wants the maximum dollar. They want 99% of what you bring home. I mean, that's why some of us don't move in LA County. If you get a place that you can live and sleep and move around, move around in the community and not feel fear all the time, like your life is threatened every day. You can get a place like that, then you're not going to move. Even, no matter what the sacrifice is that you have to make, you're going to say, well, you'll spend less over in one area, and you provide yourself with a home. It was in my home. I broke away from that, closed the door, and I opened a new one, and I am so happy. I am glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. There are times, Lenore, where I've been so close, but see, some people have, I guess, too much patience. We have too much patience with too many people. And it just seems like, okay, there's maybe just a temporary truce. Maybe they're calming down for a while, but ooh. And when I asked for the so-called authorities to go up there, the manager that from another property to go up there, they'll say, oh, there's no noise. There's no noise. We walked by there day and night. Oh, you did? When? I climbed the steps and I walked the halls all the time. Did you see the trash sitting outside people's door? I guess you can't hear and you can't see, right? Because you don't see the trash sitting outside a person's door. You don't hear decibels in the 3 digits. You don't hear that. I'm not even making it. I wish I was making this up, but I have no motivation to make up this. There's nothing in it for me. No upside. But I mean, I'm a quiet person and not combative or nothing like that. But I will defend myself, and I absolutely say, you bleepity bleeps, what gutter did you crawl out of? Go back. Get you a second job at the circus, because I'm coming for you. Yeah, you put my health and life and safety at risk. I'm coming for you. Not in a harmful way. You harmed me. I know how to call an attorney. Yes, I do. And it's not about the dollars. I want to live in peace. Whatever I have to do, I'm going to live in peace. That's for sure. I don't care how young, how big and strong. They don't know half grandma. They they can threaten and intimidate and hostile and tell me mafioso threats and all that. Well, then give me a refund. Yes, me also. But if I can walk away peacefully, I will every time. That's the winning side, every time. Like I was saying, Leonard, is that a lot of us, before we retire, we try to get a little peaceful spot, you know. Even if we have plans to live out of state or we have plans to live in another place, there's no law against one tenant living in different places. It's no law against it. And there's a reason why they do it. When people start fighting, they can just pack a bag and get out, you know. Whew. And like I was saying, I was telling my neighbor, and all of it was recorded. I don't care. I'm used to living in a fishbowl, but I was telling my neighbor, uh, from a he's probably from another country, but so what? We all we are all from immigrants, you know. We're all immigrants in one sense or the other. But I was telling him how, this is supposed to be the west side. This is supposed to be the best side and all the things you hear. And you're going to pay premium for a reason. Otherwise, you would just live on a dime. You live on a dime and bank everything. You wouldn't have to pay for it. You're paying for your zip code. Really, you're paying for your zip code because you're getting closer and closer to the west side where you have Century City, Beverly Hills, and you have your um, your San Fernando Valley, and it goes west so far. It basically goes around the mountains. They've built cities around the mountain. That's what it really comes down to. It's when those bad fires started last year, it was one thing to look at the maps in the news. Yes, Leonard, upstate New York, work part-time, go to church, and be happy within yourself. That's a full-time job. That's 2 or 3 full-time jobs. There shouldn't be any time to fight with anybody. Just do that. Yeah, work part-time. And Leonard, believe it or not, I was thinking I couldn't survive in Los Angeles because, I was thinking I couldn't survive in New York because it was, I think, I can't say it's more crime there. No, I think that Los Angeles has more, what do you call that, land mass, for, horizontal land mass, where New York has sky rises, super towers, and people living higher up. And our people live here in LA County and San Bernardino County, Ventura County, and all these other counties. They live horizontally, where New York lives vertically. But you have something like two or, excuse me, you have something like 2 or 3 times the police in your city, at least twice what LAPD has. Because I think LA has Um, at one time it was around 10,000 an hour. And like I said, they do such good work. They do such good work. You meet such great people. As a matter of fact, I keep in touch with people from there. I do. I really do. Yeah. They will monitor my YouTube and make sure I'm okay. So if somebody tries to shut my mouth, tape my mouth closed, and I'm on the milk carton, they'll find them. It may not be nice to say this, but if people want me to disappear and they know um, a guy who knows a guy, they know a guy who knows a guy, and that guy, uh, for cheap, he can make somebody disappear. They're doing that to seniors a lot, Bernard. They're doing it to seniors. A lady in the desert, uh-huh, upstate is a whole different thing, not the city. Too dangerous for me. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. But see, if you've been there, you know things and you can see things go down that nobody would ever even suspect. They never see it. I know one time I was taking a lunch break in a cafeteria downtown Los Angeles, and there were two guys outside of a window. It was it looked like a wall, but it was all glass. You know how you go in a restaurant and they're on the ground floor and you can see straight through to the street. There were two guys. They were standing there for a long time talking with their back to this window where plenty of people could see what was going on. And you can imagine they were getting paid. They were getting paid. My eyes got completely 10 times as big as they are now. My eyes were so big. As no, they didn't really do that in front of a glass window. They were getting paid. I mean, you don't even notice these kind of things until you've been in certain places for a while, and it starts to, you know, the surface things start to fade away, and other things come into view, and you start to say, "Well, what is this? This is unusual. I haven't seen this." I didn't think people would be so open. They were just so open with it. They were just passing it around. you They wasn't trying to disguise or cover nothing. They were just hand to hand. There was no fist bumps or, the usual you see fist bumps and handshakes, and you see all kind of different um, antics, and then you know what just went down. But this one was no disguise, just a quick one behind the back. Here's yours, where's mine? Downtown Los Angeles, yeah. I mean, you could at least have your back to the wall, couldn't you? If you were trying to be sneaky, you could at least have your back to the wall. But see, this is what upsets certain individuals. They don't want to be held accountable for destroying other people's lives and families. They don't want that. They don't want the accountability. Just play and amusement and hee hee ha ha. And I can do it because I want to. And oh, yes, I can. who's going to stop them? Well, we'll see for the next month or maybe the next 2 or 3 months if there's anybody that can stop this. You know, to tell the truth, there was a man in Sacramento, a what you might call a politician, but he's representative for this area. And so he has a local office and he has an office in Sacramento in the Capitol building. And I've never called his office, but this is not normal. I called his office after hours, late in the evening, because I had called everybody else for days. It was just a matter of maybe no more than 2 hours before he had all kind of resources out here, all kind of resources. You could hear a church mouse P word on cotton, pee on cotton, liquid. You could hear church mouse pee on cotton. It only took a politician with the right hookups. He was able to call his contacts in government and, just bypass all the excuses that you get. Ma'am, we don't do this. Ma'am, we don't do that. I said, wait a minute, I supervised police reports. Are you saying you're prohibited from walking less than 10 feet to a supervisor's desk and letting them know there's a crisis going on? We don't, ma'am, we don't do that. Well, somebody else needs to teach you. You need to learn how, because you're an emergency service. What is it that you do to take care of emergencies, Yeah, I was born in the city in my youth. It's dangerous just to breathe in the city. No, thank you. Oh, you're so right. You're absolutely right. Oh, I left the stove on all this time. I'm telling you. All these stories. Oh, I'm burning myself some corn, some sweet corn. And I thought I'd make make maybe some more vegetables and maybe some fish, salmon. Okay. This message is held for review. View message. Oh, they put a warning on there. I gotta see what the warning says. Be careful. Yes. Let me see what this message is, Leonard. It's something about 29-year-old females. Oh, yeah. That's right. The lady, this lady at the little spot on I think it was Tuesday. She was telling us all of this. The thing is, people are just so frightened of the truth. They can't hear anymore. They've heard too much. And then if you start to say, well, this is something we can fix, better show this message. Another moderator just handled this. Thank you, moderator. I'm super careful. I don't want anybody to be harmed at all, and I won't allow anybody to harm me or anybody that I could protect. I'm not going to let anybody harm them. It doesn't mean that they won't flip the script and come back and threaten my life, because they will. People are just People are too stressed, too much anxiety, too much pressure. And they don't really know why they are harming other people, or they think it's because, oh, they can't sleep and there's too much noise. It's just that they've reached their threshold, their limit, and they can't take anymore. It's just too much going on around them, and it's just keeping them depleted inside. They're not balanced inside. It's just they've crossed the line that they don't even know they've crossed into a space where they need professional care to help them bounce back, because they've just had too much. And then they leave, like you were saying, Leonard. Oh, I will be careful. Yes, Leonard. I try to be careful and be prepared. And yeah, people people pack up and leave and go to another situation, hoping that they're going to find something better there, and it's not. And sometimes it's because they're bringing the trouble with them. You can't always lash out at people because you don't like what they're doing, or they're wrong, and there's no way to make the situation right. You just can't always just push the panic button and react. Okay, they're talking and laughing too loud, and then they jump on on the speaker phone as if we care, as if we want to hear a 2-for-1, on the speakerphone. Two loud voices on the speakerphone blasting you to smithereens. A loud television all around the clock. Loud laughing. Sounds like you're at Bernie's Bar, Canary's Castle, you name it. Just so, yeah, things are funny and we need to laugh loud. That's good medicine. But if you're in a spacious room, you might want to think about turning the volume down. You might consider other people have rights and privacy, and they're not interested in all the he and ha, whatever else. They're not interested in hearing that. That's not why they're here. And it pushes the wrong buttons for some people, and they lose it. They react in such strange ways. Oh, banging on their balcony, and sounds like two frying pans clanging together. Or if they start up some sort of clown show where you hear all these tweeting, and beep, 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 piercing your ears. You have to put some medicine around your ears and a cotton ball inside. Put medicine on a cotton ball, stick it in your ears. Yeah, I better do that again today. But someone told me that they found such a good price on these headphones. I started out telling you Beats headphones that look like Beats by Dre. I saw some of those at I can't name the store, but you probably know what I'm talking about. I saw some of those for a deep discount, but I thought, okay, I better talk to some people first and see what else they have, because they still do price matching. Even if it's something that you see online and it has a certain price, the retail stores some of them will match that price. You talk to the manager, and they'll give you the price that you saw online. I didn't know this. I knew they did from store to store, retail store. They would give you the price that you saw in another store. But online too. That's what I was just told a couple of days ago. So I'm not trying to give Dre any business because he's a billionaire. You know, I'm a zero heir, so why would I give him business? No, it just, I didn't know that you could buy his products for under, $100. That's even surprising. But I saw something that looked like it said it was under $50. So maybe you have to install the beat packs, or I don't know what they're offering. But I looked at it and got information about it. And I said, well, let me look online because they're not going to take me to the edge and push me off with all this noise. If I have to wear headgear and listen to music, that's what I'm going to do. They're not going to push me off the edge. No, no. So it's been over an hour, almost an hour, 22 minutes. And I thank you all for your comments and, yeah, for the information about the young people that, lost their lives for no reason. No, Wells and the other lady, I didn't know her name, but I heard about her just this week. People told me about it, and they said it was clear as a bell what had happened. Okay, that's me. I had enough, went to shelter, didn't have to worry about the next argument. I went for help, but would not stop drinking. 15 beers every night is 5,280 beers a year. I had to save myself. Good on you, honey. Good for you. I thank you for posting that. Ooh, you know what? It takes courage. It takes courage. And you did it. And you're going to keep doing it. Don't even try to look back. And, you know, people want you under their thumb. So whatever they have to say or do, it makes them powerful. They're going to say it and do it until they feel like, oh, okay, I changed her mind, or I changed his mind. I recruited him to my side. And we don't really know. There's so many different things. I won't say too much. I'm not just talking about the dark arts. There's a lot of that going on. People know potions and spells and all that. There's a lot of that, but I mean, there's some things that nobody should talk about, so I better not say anything. But I read about it, and shall I say, it's right around the corner from me. So when I see people act strange, I don't react to their behavior because there's a lot of things that are being controlled. People are being controlled, their behaviors, by, shall we say, devices. People have devices that control them no matter how far away they are from that. They can be on the other side of the globe. They can be controlled to do anything now. So, we have to think twice about approaching people or allowing people in our space. A professional told me to do what I had already been doing, but now I'm going to do more. If I meet with anybody, especially if I don't know them, it's going to be on camera. If they disagree, toodaloo. Toodaloo. I'll just keep walking. Bye. Bye, Felicia. It was nice knowing you. You just, they don't even know from minute to minute. They don't know whether they're going to be lashing out at their next door neighbor. So these are the days, like Leonard said, be careful. Even Tuesday when I sat with a group of people and listened to them talking, I said my part, but I didn't go in. This woman was going in deep on the details on Nolan Wells and the young lady that they found, strung up and all. She was going in telling me that there's certain places in the U.S. in the southeast, and I won't call the state out, but she said that it has not changed from the time we were children, where they had separate, unequal accommodations, and they would label the water fountain. They still have that, and people have to hold their hair down like that and speak to certain other people different from them. You can't look them in the eye. You can't hold your head up. Why? How is this still going on in the United States? How? And why? This has got to be an number one priority to eradicate. It's got to be. Everybody's important. I don't care if you don't like what they wear, like their accent. You don't like them. You don't have to like them. They're probably your 15th cousin, 2 times removed. So grow up. Grow up. Everybody's needed. Everybody's important. And nobody has a license to make them feel less than that. Why? Because you have one more dollar than they have. And the tax experts are going to figure out 99 ways to separate you from that dollar. So, is that how you value yourself? If it is, you don't have the right metric. You don't have the right standard, and you certainly have no business demeaning anybody else. But anyways, my blood sugar is so low because I'm never really hungry. And shame on me, I wait too late to eat. I really do. But thank you for joining this live, and for your comments. They were so bold and so strong and important, and everybody's going to benefit from it. Oh, it's real talk, and not everybody wants real talk. Not everybody is able to hear it, because we all have limits, and we may need years and years and years of silence, and it still might not be enough to undo the harm and damage that we've suffered. So if you don't have to suffer, don't. Just like this person is telling us, how they found a way to end suffering and to free themselves. So, high fives to you. And there's even more heights for you to climb. You don't have to be in fear of anyone. No. You don't have to be in fear. But I understand that everybody is not in the best situation. And it has nothing to do with material or zip codes or none of that. It's just that we're all created different, and we cannot be like anyone else. And there are some people that are just not tolerant. They're not tolerant. So, like you said, we just have to get away. We have to get out of the situations. Yeah. We have to look and say, well, what are the upsides? What's the benefit, and who does the benefit really go to if I stay in a situation that's not right for me. You know, so day by day, we can do our best to change the things that we need to change, and pray to God to give us the strength to accept the things that we cannot change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The Serenity Prayer is online, and there's another one. It's a poem, The Audacity of Hope. I know that's the name of Obama's book, biography, but there's a poem much older than his book, and when you read that poem, The Audacity of Hope, you'll never stop reading it. And I can tell I haven't read it for a long time because too many things upset me that would not, you know. I mean, the things that upset me now, they should. And the fact that I know where some of the resources are to get to the solution, that pisses some people off even more. Because obviously, if they want to keep up the ruckus, there's a payoff for them, right? If they can keep neighbors fighting, then they can flip you over like a hot cake and say you cannot be on this property. It's a revolving door. And then they can bring in somebody else, even jack up the price and bring in somebody else. So who's going to benefit? I don't really care how much they rake in. I really don't. But once they cross that line and start making veiled threats to me, come over on this side of the line where we can talk face to face. Don't text me a threat saying, you really should this, that, the other. I know we have all kind of gangs from all over the world, but I'll be here on this earth until God calls me home. When he calls you home, everybody has to go. So why live in fear? No. I'll be here until it's time for me to go, and I'll go. And if they do something to my body, oh well. I have a spirit. I have a spirit that I'm nurturing and growing, providing for all the time. So I'm not in fear of what anybody can do to me, property owners or anything. As a matter of fact, when they stole and did all kind of stuff, stole property still. My jewelry just walked out the door during that horrible fire we had in 2025. They were putting in all new copper pipes, and I had to go to the doctor. And I didn't think there's so much security here. I didn't even think that, new owner and, everything is more secure. I didn't think anybody would even want to come in here and steal. As a matter of fact, I do exactly like some professors taught me. Wherever they put down their valuable research papers, they put a whole mountain of papers over top of it so nobody could see it. So I've learned to, anything important, I make sure you'll never find it without working so hard you'll just give up. Yeah. My niece said, "Oh no, that's too much Auntie. You have to change that. You have to get rid of that." I said, "Well, if they're going to try to hide in a closet or under a bed or behind anything, they'll give up. They won't be able to get to it very easily. Because once I leave out the door, you're going to have to go through an obstacle course to get inside. Even if you mess with my lock, I'm going to have some more locks put on my door. But even if you mess with my lock and you're successful to open the door and squeeze through all the barricades that I set up, I'll know your fingerprints once you get out of here. If you get out of here, I'll know your fingerprints, your shoe size, everything. And like I said, I have former friends and connections that watch my back and they watch my live. And if I'm disappeared, if I'm strung up, or if I'm, from a tree, if they string me up from a tree or harm me or anything like that, these people will know. They'll know, they'll report it, and they know exactly what to do. They know exactly who to call to take care of the situation. They know who to go to that may have stirred the pot. They'll know because they listen to this. They keep a wide data spectrum, shall we say. They have a wide data spectrum. Nobody has the reach that they have. So they've been there, done that, and they've solved every little slick Rick that's tried anything. They've undone everything any little slick Rick has ever done it in Los Angeles. And so I don't fear anybody because they can do any harm they want to me, but they're going to answer to somebody else. They sure are. I still have siblings. And like I said, they may not be that tall, but you don't want to meet them on a bad day because they're smart and they handle business like I've never seen. They handle business. If I come up injured, K-word, missing at the hands of another person, you don't want to. You don't even want to. You couldn't even begin to dream what they would do. Because I let them know what's going on in my life, in my environment. I don't sugarcoat it. I let them know this is what's happening. And, it could take this turn or that turn. And here's the information that you need. They're smart. They're so smart. That's one thing I can say. I got the best family anybody could ask for. All of them so smart. I could sit and just write a book about them. They're just so smart. And you don't have to force them. They want to do the right thing. They want to, contribute. They love people. They love people. They're busy all the time, professional people all the time. They love people so much. They'll do anything. One sister, she's a professional, well, she retired, but she was a professional child care provider. She had her own business. There's so many adults right now that still remember being in her care. They still remember when they were little and she took care of them. Because she did such a good job like my mother did. We were never bullied or, smacked around or none of that. My mother didn't allow that. She didn't care who it was. If it was her mother, she would tell her in a minute, no, they're not used to that. You don't talk like that. Yeah. She treated my mom treated us as if she was trying to help us, elevate. Okay, you're a young person, you're a, a young child, maybe in the fourth or fifth grade. You have a lot to learn. That's no excuse for not doing your absolute best. Mm-mm. No excuses. No excuses. She had the talent and the gift. I keep telling you this. She had a talent and gift with kids. If people felt they couldn't handle their kids, even no matter how small they were, they couldn't stop crying or whatever. Once my mom picked him up, the baby would stop crying, go to sleep, or just look at my mom and smile. She she had a gift for calming things down. And I mean, you're not going to catch her screaming and upset at people unless, hey, it just went on for too long. But she was the person that would try to intervene before it really went too far. She would be able to assess right away on the spot what the outcomes would be, and in a very discreet, soft, kind way. She could say a few words, and people just burst out laughing or smiling, or they would completely forget about it and say, "Oh, well, let me tell you about this." They, they would be just so at ease. She could just say a few words and make them laugh, and they would forget all about whatever was going on. It happened all the time. Didn't matter how old they were, how young the child was. She could make people so comfortable, you know. But that's the type of person you never want to abuse, because I cannot, I cannot even believe how they can just sort everything out. But yeah, it's 1 hour 42 minutes and almost uh 2 hours. So yeah, it's time for some protein. And my goodness, I keep getting these fruit bowls and making them myself, and the fruit never wants to thaw out. The mango, especially. This is the mango season. Oh, well, you don't need to see it. I took my lamp cover off. You don't need to see that. This is the mango season because they taste so sweet. It's not like that all year round. These mangoes, they have their own sweet taste. You don't have to add anything to them. Frozen chopped up mango. Oh, only thing that comes close is the chopped up pineapple. Mm. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. And as many different variety of berries that I could find: black, blue, raspberry. Last night, the night before, their grandmother, their grandfather, their 10th grade grandparents, I got every berry that I could find. It's in season. Oh, can't even hardly stop eating it. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so you don't need to be hungry. You don't need an appetite to eat these fruits this in season. Ooh. So you have a nice day. And once again, I just enjoy you all so much. I enjoy you all so much. Even if you hop on and hop off and go finish whatever you were doing, I enjoy your little cameo profile. Yeah, yeah. To me, it's fun. You know, and it doesn't cost anything. I mean, YouTube provides the platform. All we have to do is get on and say hi. You say, I can't stop talking to you. If I talk to you, then I'm not finding a million other things that needs to be put on a to-do list that needs to be done. And all of them, my mind says, all of these things on these pages are emergency. You need to do them today. That's not even possible. That's not even possible. But that's the way the mind works. You want to hurry up, and you want everything to be over and done with now. But just like it took weeks and weeks and weeks of calling the authorities to get the little bit of peace that we little bit of peace that we lost, we got a little bit of it back. So, but that took so much work. People just telling you, well, I'm sorry, no, we can't write an anonymous report. I said, well, then when? After all the, fur is flying and heads are rolling, can you respond then? You know, I don't, when there's lives at stake, people's lives at stake, you're not going to tell me no. You can try it, but I'm not going to walk away until there's somebody that can take action. If all you know is no, you're not the answer. But I was trying to say earlier, and that once I called Sacramento, well, I had to call the local office, but the representative in Sacramento, he wouldn't take no. He had people here, and I mean, he must have called some people off of their vacations and everything else. He had people here to sit with whoever was upset. He had people here to sit with them and talk with them, and you could hear. And I know they could hear my mouth because I was fed up with them. It was, oh my God. You couldn't get away from it. Even if you go outside, you couldn't get away from it. Only to hear the so-called managers tell you, oh, there's no noise. We all walked day and night, and there's no noise. Excuse me? I have live YouTube videos of the noise in the background. And, from the elevator, everywhere. We had a man in a wheelchair that got stuck in the elevator. All of us were mad about that. He tries to move around. He does not like pity or sympathy. He tries to move and do everything that we do and better. He's better. But there are certain places he cannot go. And it's no reason for it. No reason, because he doesn't want pity, sympathy. He just wants what he should have, mobility, access. And, neighbors would have to go out and try to lift his chair and take him up the stairs because the elevator wasn't working. Or try to open the elevator and get him out. Some of us just don't like it. We're never going to get over that because there's no excuse for that. That's why the law says you need an on-site property manager, because they could hear the alarm and they have the keys and everything to go and let him out. See? I mean, it's just so many little things. You have people getting hurt for no reason. I mean, it's just negligence. Yeah. Well, I guess I've said enough and pointed the finger long enough. Now I have to take the blame for not eating on time. And I can feel it. I can feel it. But it doesn't take but a little bit of food, and I'm brand new. Mhm. Okay, thank you to the moderator. Thank you for everybody that commented, everybody that um, did something to improve their life in their world, in their communities, and just keep going. Keep doing better things because you were created. You were built just for that, to do just miraculous things. So, yeah, don't stop. Stay unstoppable. Nobody has the right to, deny you your civil liberties or anything else. Just, yeah, take care of yourself. Okay. You know now, if you ever doubted, you can live in peace no matter who threatens your life. I figure if I can't live in peace, then what is my life anyhow? You're going to threaten my life? I don't have a life if I can't live in peace. But I'm sure now that there are authorities that can, if necessary, force the property owner to put me in a peaceful place until they can calm things down. There are authorities. They finally said yes. I wouldn't take no for an answer. They finally said yes. We'll do an investigation. And I know since they're at the county level, they have the resources. LA County is probably the richest in the states. They have the resources to relocate me to wherever I need to go, especially now that my life has been threatened. And I got it in writing. They probably could relocate me permanently and make the owners pay for it. You see, that's why I say always pays. Always pays. Yeah, do your level best. People try to do the wrong thing to you, they will pay for it. They'll pay for it. Their pockets will burn. Their pockets will burn because, you know, all the unnecessary. It's unnecessary, endangering children, endangering the people that want to live in peace. Okay. The live broke down. The link broke down. It came back up, reconnected. But okay, yeah. I'm long overdue for my first meal. I think I had a couple of really good dates that I bought from a store not too far from here. But they got them from Saudi Arabia. I was telling you about the water from the well water, from the Zamzam well. And how you don't wait until it's all gone. You just refill your container with that Zamzam water in there. And all of the water you drink is going to be Zamzam. My mind, my body, everything is fine-tuned. It's fine-tuned. I won't say odor-free washrooms, but it's so close. You know what I'm talking about. It's so close to odor-free. I think I'm saving on deodorant and everything else. Yeah, but everything feels, like you just stepped out of a swimming pool. Okay, I say too much. Take care of yourself. Love you guys. Bye-bye.